I'm Michael, and this is California. So finally, it's out in the open. The Health Economic Assistance Liability Protections and Schools Act, or HEALS. And this is a first look at what the next round of the Republican $1 trillion stimulus package is going to look like. It includes things like stimulus checks, extended unemployment benefits, and additional PPP money for small businesses. So it actually looks, well, it looks exactly like what we expected. But remember, this is just the beginning of the negotiation, and there's still going to be a lot of back and forth between the two parties and the White House before a final proposal is worked out. But at least so far, well, it's a start. So in this video, we're going to cover what are some of the things in the next proposed Republican second stimulus bill. This is your 5-minute nightly dose, so let's make it quick. But before we do that, if you like this information, if you find it interesting, if you find it helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. The first and most expected part of this bill is the second round of stimulus checks. And in the HEALS Act proposal, it does include a $1,200 stimulus check for individuals or $2,400 stimulus checks for married couples, as well as $500 stimulus checks per dependent. But unlike the CARES Act, any dependent, whether they are 15 or 55, will be eligible for the additional $500 stimulus check, where previously only dependents under the age of 17 would have been eligible. These checks would be available to individuals who make up to $75,000 a year or married households who make up to $150,000 a year. Now, one important sticking point left over from the CARES Act is that in order to receive these checks, a person must be a U.S. resident or a citizen and must have an eligible Social Security number. Remember, this caused a lot of problems because under the CARES Act, having a single household member who did not have a Social Security number would previously disqualify the whole family. And so far, this rule doesn't seem to have changed. The next big part of the HEALS proposal is an extension of unemployment benefits. Under the HEALS Act, it's proposing that the $600 PUA money that ends at the end of this month be extended, but only up to $200 per week through the month of September. Then, starting in October, the payment will be replaced with a payment of up to $500 that could be combined with unemployment payments, which would replace up to 70% of a person's lost wages. And the additional $500 will count as income against federal low-income programs. This would include programs like Medicaid, Medi-Cal, Obamacare, and SNAP. The last thing we're going to cover this evening is the updated Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, that provides assistance to small businesses who have been affected by the lockdown and the pandemic. The last time around, because the government's focus on expediency rather than on accuracy, this program ended up handing out billions of dollars to large companies who didn't really need the money. But this time around, in the HEALS Act proposal, it includes $190 billion, mostly in forgivable loans, that would be limited to businesses who can show that they had at least a 50% decrease in revenue from last year, as well as having fewer than 300 employees. At this point, we have had just barely enough time to scratch the surface of this proposed bill and what it may entail. And from the initial glance, it looks like the Republican proposal is lacking in width and depth when it comes to the necessary funding and protections to keep America safe, healthy, and running. But of course, it's important to keep in mind that this is just the first round. This is the Republican lowball offer that starts the whole process off. This bill will still have to get past the Democratic-held House and have enough provisions in it that the White House can campaign on it this year before it becomes a law. So there's still a long way to go, but at least it's a step in the right direction. This has been your 5-minute nightly dose, and I hope that you found it interesting or helpful or at least useful. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we here at California, we know health insurance. So if you have any questions about your health insurance, leave those down below. We'll be happy to make a new video or a new post for that as well. Now, other than that, I am Michael, and this is California, wishing you a happy, healthy day.